Where's the camera? Oh, there. Yeah, I can't see anything. It's blank. Oh, I can see you. Oh, all right. No. This way. Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Camera was following me.
Sorry, the camera was following Doc. So, good morning. Good morning. Yes, we're back. And I just wanted to say something real quick before he comes on. I was saying to my husband, and he wanted me to share this. I was saying that it's interesting that a lot of times, I was talking about how the missionaries, when the missionaries came, that the missionaries, they meant well, but they taught us to be dependent, to look for people to give us stuff. And I remember I said something in the first service about how you don't do any work, but you're believing for the blessing. And, I had my notebook. If I wanted to read something to us that I'd written in my notes, I said, it said, because, normally after the service, after the meetings, we share highlights. And one of the things that he said here was that often our breakthroughs are one insight away. Our spirituality, no matter how profound it is, does not take the place of intellectual capacity. It's something that we have to build. And I'm sure you remember I've told you this story before about how for years I would pray and I was trusting God for a breakthrough, but there was nothing that I was doing that God could bless. And that is what this is teaching us. That is teaching us, it's teaching us about, if you see something that is of value, if you have hidden treasure, you must be ready to do something. If you're not ready to do anything, prayer is not enough. Prayer is not enough to change my circumstances unless I'm ready to do something. There must be something in my hand that God will bless. If there's nothing for God to bless, I can pray till kingdom come. My lot will not change. So I think this is such a powerful time for us. And my prayer is that as we listen, God will open our eyes to show us the areas where we need to invest. I remember that Doc had said something some time ago. He said that the areas in our lives that things are not working are an indication of the places where we need to give more attention. If the word is not working for me in a particular area, then it means that particular area requires me to do more. And it's not that it requires me to pray more. It requires me to do something physically to change my situation. So I think I'll stop here and then you can take over. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, welcome. Taiwo, please come and sit near me. You're going to be my special assistant today. Oh boy. So my beautiful wife. Oh. All right. So we ended the first session talking about the fact that salvation is free, but transformation is not. Okay? And so we get born again, but everything after it says, work out your own salvation. It says, your transformation, you are the one that has to do something about that. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind and all that. Let's go to Philippians chapter 2. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And I think the first day I saw that scripture, I freaked out that, okay, how do we even begin to go about this? Work out my salvation. How? But you see, basically, what God has deposited in you, must now be developed by you. Now, let me tell you something. There is, I don't know, let me adjust this camera. I don't know how to explain this. There is a dignity that comes from developing yourself to a point, listen, where you don't need to drop anybody's name to feel important. I don't need to drop the name of, oh, so and so is my friend. No. In fact, they will now begin to drop my name. There's a dignity. And that is where you want to get to. And that's where you will get to in the name of Jesus. Where people will be mentioning your name to feel important. Are you hearing me today? Now, fear, the word fear comes from a Greek word phobos, which means deep reverence and awareness of responsibility. So walk out your salvation with an awareness of responsibility, with deep reverence and an awareness of responsibility. That salvation is a responsibility. And the beauty of my salvation is going to come out by the things I will do. Look, heaven is guaranteed. But on this earth, the things I will do, walk out your salvation with phobos, with deep reverence and awareness of responsibility, then trembling, tromos in the Greek, which means urgency, no casualness. There's no casualness about it. That means what? This salvation is too valuable to be handled carelessly. So fear and trembling is not panic. No, it is you understand the deep reverence and the responsibility that comes with your salvation. So anything he tells you, listen, anything he tells you to do after you got saved is now your responsibility. He says, give yourself to the word, meditate on it day and night, that your profiting might appear unto all. So that's on you. That's on you. It says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Don't conform. That's on you. Just like he says, forgive people. That's on you. You can't pray to God, God, help me to forgive so and so. In the same way, you cannot pray to God, God, help me to renew my mind. It's not going to happen. Are you hearing me? So when you appreciate this, you stop living casually. Because casual people never carry great destinies. Prayer aligns you. Prayer empowers you. Prayer sensitizes you. But prayer does not replace learning. It does not replace skills development. It does not replace personal investment. Because if it did, that will counter scripture. Are you hearing me today? This is by people that are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So, transformation requires investment. Let me show you. There's no way we're going to finish this today. That's why I have my beautiful assistant sitting beside me to be passing me the books as I need them. Let me read something. Remember where we're starting from. In Matthew 30, where it says, the kingdom, how it operates, you see something valuable, and then you are ready to exchange something valuable for the valuable thing you have seen. So you are ready. It says you sell everything, literally, to go and get that which is of value. Listen to, this is called Napoleon Hill, Success Habits, Proven Principles for Greater Wealth, Health, and Happiness. And I have heard people say to me, Wale, about all these books, how many of them were written by Christians? And I answer, you should be asking how many books that your doctor, who studied medicine, how many of his medical books were written by Christians? These are some of the religious mindsets that keep us bound. How many of the books that you used in school were read by Christians? Does it invalidate your education? Don't even get me started on that one. So listen to what this guy says. And I found it very, very powerful. Listen to this. He says, he talks about people who have opinions about things. And he says, look, no opinion is safe unless it is based on known facts. Are you hearing me? He says, you haven't made the effort to gain the facts, but you have an opinion nevertheless. You have no right to that opinion because there is nothing on which to found it on. Isn't that powerful? Are you hearing me today? Now listen, and this is where I'm going. I talked about, the bondage that the missionary mentality put the church into. That was the mentality of everything free. So generations of believers have grown up only thinking of free things. They want things free. Listen, free advice volunteered by friends and acquaintances usually is not worthy of consideration. Someone has said that anything in the world you get for nothing is worth exactly the price you pay for it. And that is particularly true of free advice. It makes no difference what you want to do, what your plans are, where you're going to, or what you're doing, or what your aims in life are. The moment you begin to talk about them, you'll find a lot of people around you with a lot of free advice, and particularly those closely related to you. Now, he studied over 500 people to learn their secrets of success. It's more like what this guy on the School of Hard Knocks does on Instagram today, talking to billionaires and saying, how did you get rich? That is what Napoleon Hill did many, many years ago. Now, he said, when I started to do this, listen to this, 500 of the most outstanding men in America, he says, all those 500 combined were nothing in comparison with the free advice I got from my immediate family. Here I was doing 20 years of research with the most intelligent brains in the world helping me out, and still 2 or 3 members of my family thought they could tell me more about what I was doing, more about its weaknesses than could all those 500 men combined. You see the danger of free. Now, listen, and this is where I want to really, really, really hammer on. Information is abundant. All right, somebody asked me not long ago why I didn't just go about the country teaching this philosophy free of charge, not charging anything for it, if I didn't need to make any money. Now listen to this shot fired at the church. Listen up. Do you know what I said to that person? I said, do you belong to a church? He said, yes. Why, yes, sure I do. Do you go to church? I asked. He said, yes, sometimes. I said, is your church always filled on Sunday morning? Oh, no, he said. Very few of the seats are filled. I said, do you know what's wrong with the churches? He said, no, I don't know whether there's anything wrong with them or not. I said, have you ever attended one of my lectures? He said, yes. I attended all your lectures up here up to the present time. This man, by the way, lives in the community. I said, did you notice that on the opening night of our radio broadcast, one of the worst nights of winter, people came as far as 65 miles during winter? They showed up. They were all there. The room was entirely filled and overflowing. Did you notice that? He said, yes, I did. And I wondered about that. I wondered how you did it. He said, well, I'll tell you how I did it. I did it by charging them. That's how. If I were running a church, I think I'll probably put a price on each pew and make them pay. The trouble with churches, they let them get away without paying. Everything that is worthwhile in this world, ladies and gentlemen, should have a price on it. and it does does have a price upon it in one way or the other. The things that you give away absolutely free, people usually value about as much as they pay for them. Did you hear that? But you see, we have grown up in an environment of free. We look for free. If it's not free, we don't want. And that's not kingdom. Because kingdom says you sell everything you have if it gets to that point to get this value you want. The transformation you do not invest in will never happen. And that's not because God is not unwilling, but growth is structured into this parable that Jesus has given us. Listen, God will give you a seed. He's not going to force you to plant it. You know, I was thinking that potential is God's gift to you. He puts it in you. Development is your gift back to God. That I see what you have put in me, and I'm going to do what you have said I should do. And to do what you have said I should do to develop it, if I have to sell all I have to get this information, to move to the next level, I'm going to do that. Listen, how many of you have heard of Anthony Robbins? This is going to be a very practical class. You've heard of Anthony Robbins? Okay, good. Now, Anthony Robbins grew up in a very, very difficult, he talks about it, financial situation. He was working as a janitor, trying to survive, struggling. Then he heard about somebody called Jim Rohn, who was speaking things nobody else was talking about. He invested what he could not afford, everything he had, poured it, and went for that seminar with Jim Rohn, saying, if I perish, I perish. That decision became the turning point for him. Later, I worked with Jim Rohn. He wrote this book, Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. He wrote this one, which really, really helped me and influenced some major decisions I made in my life. This is called Money, Master the Game. All right? 7 simple steps to financial freedom. Somebody hearing me? I told you I'm going to be showing you books today. Did you see that? Now, today, Anthony Robbins is worth about $500 million. You see, this is a story of, I have too many books here. I cannot go through all of them. It's about value recognition. Working things out with fear and trembling. How do you think he was feeling at the point when he was giving that money to pay for that workshop? He could have gone and said, oh, please, I have no money. I have nothing. Please help me. Let me come in for free. But if he did, I don't think he will be where he is today. Because value attracts value. He placed a value on it, put money, bought the ticket, and he was able to extract value. The person that comes in for free may just hear it and is not able to extract the same value from it. You need to tell yourself, I cannot afford not to grow. Are you hearing me today? The hidden treasure. Go and sell all you have so you can get that. All right? The poor person will ask, can I afford it? The wise will ask, what will it make me become? And in so doing, you establish motive. And motive is more powerful than logic. Is somebody hearing me? Motive is more powerful than logic. The person who goes to steal, he knows if I'm caught, I'll go to prison. But then there's a motive driving him that overrides that logic. Your breakthrough is often hidden behind a payment you are afraid to make. There's someone on this platform who inspires me. She'll tell me, I'm doing a new course. How much did you pay for the course? $4,000. Hey, are you hearing me today? Now, your breakthrough is often hiding behind a payment you are afraid to make. Are you hearing me today? There's a gentleman in this city. He runs a very, very successful business, billion shilling business. When he was starting, he said he listened to me. He said, I want what he has. He said, but he could not afford my rates. But you know what? He said, this is what I have. And he gave it. Today, he talks about me everywhere he goes. I gave him time, sat down with him at Serena Hotel, and began to share with him, began to change his mindset on how he sees himself. The rest is history. The cost of growth is visible. You can feel it. The cost of stagnation is hidden, but it will have a more devastating effect on the lives of people. Are you hearing me? I was developing myself. I was buying books. I was reading when nobody saw me. If you wait to be seen before you start, you will never be seen. Are you hearing me today? Look, what people call success is the result of labor in obscurity. Are you hearing? What people call success is the result of labor in obscurity. The spotlight reveals what you have been doing in obscurity. A lot of people are working so hard to be noticed today, and they are not doing the thing that will make them noticeable. Everything the world celebrates publicly was built privately. It was. You don't build success in public. It is revealed in public. But you have invested. You've sold what you have to go and buy. I'll deal with the parable of the virgins maybe next Sunday or so. It's the same principle he's pushing forward. They wanted to give us some of your oil. They said, no way, go and buy your own. Go and buy. Are you hearing me? Thank you, Taiwo. I always say that means they had the money, but they had the missionary-induced mindset. Let's see if we can get it for free. And the minute you have that mentality, you are in a, let me tell you something, you go in a bus or in a restaurant and all that, and you are happy you have met somebody there. Why? Because your intent is that they will pay for me. That is the missionary-induced mindset. It should be that, you know what? I will pay. I will pay. That is a liberated mind. Are you hearing me today? Listen, let me tell you something. At the time Tony Robbins was going to take all that money, all he had, to pay for that seminar, that would have been risky. Somebody would have called it irresponsible. It would have been uncomfortable. But let me tell you something. Every major leap in life appears first as a risk. And you need to realize you need to arm yourself with more ammunition to get out of where you are to where you want to be. And this does not come by wishing. Let me show you something. I was deep in this was not even, as a business person, you go through financial situations, some of them out of ignorance, some of them politically motivated and all that. But there was a time, but in my adult year, in the last few years, I've never been in a place, never, where I don't have money somewhere. Even when I was going through the political thing and accounts not accessible and all that, I was selling books. Okay, so I've never been in the last couple of, 2 decades. So I've never been in a place where I don't have money coming. Somebody owes me or money somewhere. But before I got to that point, do you know, I was so poor. I had, when you're poor, you have no money. You have no money anywhere. You have no hope of money coming in from anywhere. I was there. Do you know what I did? I needed something. These are the books. Let me show you their titles. The Millionaire Next Door, Thomas J. Stanley. The 1 Minute Millionaire, Mark Victor Hansen and Robert G. Allen. The Millionaire Course, Mark Allen. Cracking the Millionaire Code. What rich people know that you don't. Are you hearing me? It became a course. It became a course. I bought the books. You noticed what they all have in common on their cover? The word millionaire. Somebody says, don't judge a book by the cover. We all do. The word millionaire. That's what was there. I read. Now, somebody asked me, how do you read? Let me tell you how I read. When I read, number one, I'm underlining, I'm writing my own notes. For every book I'm reading, I'm writing my own notes. And the notes I'm writing are my action points. Where is, okay, you will see them. There is one, the startup, the lean startup, I think is there somewhere. Is somebody hearing me? So when I read it, I am writing my own notes. Either, it's okay, honey. It's okay, sweetie, I'll get it. Let me tell you something. No, let me tell you. I'm writing my own notes. Those days, I had notebooks where I've written my own notes. Today, I have files and files and files where, as I'm reading, I'm writing my own notes. And I'm writing, what am I going to do? Wale, what are your action points? Wale, this book is for you. It's not for that. But what is, I turned the searchlight. There's a blue book here somewhere, Taiwo. Something about a blue book on startups. Are you hearing me? That, Wale, what are you going to do? So every book I read, I have action points from it. Now listen, thank you. The lean startup. Because I read a lot of people are starting business with so much things, they don't need. Let me tell you, this book is so underlined and so marked. It's just, I don't know if the camera will be able to pick it. It is so marked, and I'm saying the thing, I'm writing notes to myself. I said, we can't put new wine in old wine skins. Are you hearing me? And one of the ways I do this and I get it right is this. Listen, when I finish reading a chapter, I close it and then I think, what is my takeaway from this chapter? Now, let me tell you something. And there are a lot of ways I've heard so many people say, oh, my thing is podcasts and all that. Congratulations. But let me tell you something. Hey, I understand. Don't say, well, it's not with technology. I understand podcasts and all that. But there's something I have learned that reading does that I'm not able to get from any other place. Are you hearing me? And this is what we did before podcasts and all those things. Because we make it personal. I cannot write a note on the podcast, or you can write notes on the podcast you are listening to about that. Take notes. Also, are you hearing me today? I read The Mystery of Capital by Leonardo de Soto. What it did for me, I realized that, our problem is not lack of resources. Our problem is that we have not developed the mindset to develop the resources we have. That's what I learned from here. The personal MBA. Listen, this book, it showed me the importance of structures. It showed me, listen, one of my favorite quotes, you probably heard me say it, I got it from this book. A venture that does not create value for others is a hobby. A venture that does not attract attention is a flop. A venture that does not sell the value it creates is a non-profit. A venture that does not deliver what it promises is a scam. A venture that does not bring in enough money to keep operating will close down, no matter how good it is. I learned that from here. So I learned my responsibility as a CEO is I got to keep my eyes on the money. Is somebody hearing me today? These are things that I have, this one, made to stick. This is where I learned the characteristics of stories that stick. You want to write a LinkedIn post. You want to write something that people are going to want to read and, like and do all that. You want to be able to, I learned it by reading. Daniel said, Daniel, understood by the books. Then let's go to biographies. Let me tell you about biographies. Because the secret of people's success is in their habits. So when I read their biographies, I understand their habits and the patterns. I can now look at patterns. I read this, Barack Obama, A Promised Land. I saw the power of communication and I saw the power of building people around a simple idea. It was this is the best sales book I've ever read. How you take a nobody that nobody knew and he becomes president of the United States simply because of his authentic voice and building people around an idea. He was so authentic. Listen to this. I read this to people. When Senator Ted Kennedy, the late Ted Kennedy, saw him, he said, asked him, have you considered running for office? Barack was still hesitant. He said, the power to inspire is rare. Moments like this are rare. You think you may not be ready, that you'll do it at a more convenient time, but you don't choose time. The time chooses you. Either you seize what may turn out to be the only chance you have, or you decide you are willing to live with the knowledge that the chance has passed you by. Hey. Are you hearing me? Biographies. The Titan, biography of John D. Rockefeller. I saw how he will sit in the church at the back and he will have envelopes already packaged for people. And as people are walking out of the church, God will minister to him. Give that one, give that one, give that one. They didn't tell me, I read it. And I saw that you cannot separate some things. There's a level of greatness. Look at this. Steve, I needed to understand how people are innovative. Why is this guy this innovative? Steve Jobs, by Walter Isaacson. Then when I was reading that one, help me look for Innovator's Dilemma and Innovator's Solution. Then, of course, this one too. There's another one, Innovator's Dilemma. My PA, I wish you could clap for my PA. My PA Taiwo, she's working very hard today. She's working very, very hard. Look, Elon Musk. And you see, when I tell you that I look at this one, inside Steve's brain. Inside Steve's brain, they went deep dive into his thinking. And I will tell you something. Again, these are people, when you read these books, you see people who have embraced the principles of Jesus, even if they did not embrace the person of Jesus. Now, when I was reading that big book of Steve Jobs, everywhere, he talked about a book he read. I went to look for the book. This was the book he read, The Innovator's Dilemma, Clayton Christensen. I went to look for it. I went to look for it. Then he also wrote The Innovator's Solution. I went to buy them. Are you hearing me? I now think, I cannot understand for the life of me when people say, oh, you buy this one, I buy this one, then we can exchange. How? My book is part of me. It's part of me. I will write in it. I will put my thoughts. I will put what I'm learning. That's why I don't give people books to read. My own books, you go and buy your own. It's like the 5 virgins. Oh, Wale, can I go and read this book? It's a lie. You will go and buy your own. I'll tell you where they sell it. Is somebody hearing me today? Where is leading the revolution? Is somebody hearing me today? Your life will not change until you value yourself enough to invest in where you are going. You need to value yourself. If you are not investing in your mind, if you are not investing in your personal development, it means you are taking your salvation casually. Remember, we say, work out your salvation with seriousness, urgency. It means, are you hearing me? Capacity is the currency of progress. So I have to constantly take money, invest in that knowledge, that pearl, get it, and then I move to the next level. Look at this one. You know, I read this book, Leading the Revolution by Gary Hamel, and it talked about people, about disrupting. I said, that is what I want to be. How do they think? How do they operate? I got it. I went to buy it. This is the question, when was the last time you invested in your own growth? If you cannot invest in your own growth, why should anybody help you? Are you hearing me today? If you cannot invest in your own growth, look, wishes are cheap. Hope is not a strategy. Transformation is expensive. It's going to cost you. Are you hearing me today? You don't arrive at your destination, at your next level by wishing. You arrive by preparation. And every level is funded. Are you hearing me? It is funded. It is funded. Talking of biographies, look, I looked at the story of CNN. I said, and then I had the story. I went to buy the book. Call Me Ted. Are you hearing me? And he talked about how he worked late in advertising. He will get home. He wants to watch the news, but he has already missed the news, and he's too tired to wait for the late night. Then he said to himself, surely there must be other people like me who want to hear the news as it is happening whenever they can. And that was the thinking that led to him starting CNN. He wrote everything here. So I know how he started. He said, then when we were growing up, we watched cartoons only on weekends. And he said, why? Can they not watch cartoons whenever they want? Then he started Cartoon Network. It's here. It's here. The secrets of greatness are already written. Hey, the secrets of greatness are already written down somewhere. But if you are not searching it, if you are not, it is the glory of God to what conceal a matter, the glory of kings to search it out. It's already written. It's already written. And those are greatness dynamics based on the principles of Jesus. But you are upset they don't embrace the person of Jesus. And you that have embraced the person of Jesus, you don't know the principles. All these people I'm reading about talked about how they started their company. Please let me give me Bezonomics there. It's on that shelf. Look at this one. I read this. Business at the Speed of Thought by Bill Gates. And Bill Gates, he said, a day will come, Microsoft will be disrupted by startups. Are you hearing me? He talked about how they started. He talked about the challenges. He talked about the road ahead. And he said that every product they make in their own mind, that product has a lifespan of 5 years max. So even if you are using it 10 years after, it's irrelevant. In their head, they've already come up with what is coming next. And then you are here sitting down, wallowing. Then I have a book. I read the book of Gillette, that in their own case, they produce something. When they feel it's time for change, they produce a different product, and then they do an advert saying, guys, we showed you this, but now we have created something better. This is what we have now. By the end of the day, when you look at the store, both products, the old and the new, they are still there. They have market. So what are you doing to develop yourself? You think they're going to tell you, it's okay, you can come. Just leave it. You think people are going to respect you just because you say, I'm born again, I'm saved, I love the Lord? Look at this one. Biography, Alibaba. I said, hey, how does something, I wrote this. I mean, if you see the notes I write in my books, and they are telling you their secrets. Can you imagine getting the secret of Alibaba for 2,000 shillings? Getting the secret of Bill Gates for 4,000 shillings in a book. Can you imagine that? You know, I remember he talked about when they were going to launch. And oh my God. Just wait, I want to show you something. You can see that when I'm doing this, I get very excited, yeah? Listen, when they started, in the first 8 minutes, in the first 8 minutes, 11th of November 2015, shoppers made more than $1 billion in purchases on Alibaba sites. In the first 8 minutes. 24 hours later, 30 million buyers had raked up over $14 billion in purchases. On Singles Day 2016, total 24-hour takings was $17.8 billion. You know, I read these things, I let my mind get used to these figures. Are you hearing me today? Your life moves in the direction of what you value enough to pay for. You don't rise by chance, you rise by exchange. I will exchange value to buy value, and then my life becomes more valuable, not more valuable to God, more valuable on earth. Are you hearing me? And because I have priced my future correctly, until you price your future correctly, you underinvest in it. I have priced my future. I know the kind of future I want to have. So I am invested in myself accordingly. Where there is no investment, there will be no transformation. And that fear you feel is the price tag for your next level. Oh, if I spend this 2,000, let me tell you what delivered me one day. This was 95 or so. Tao was telling me, remind me of days in church, on church those days when I'll bring all books. You know, what delivered me was, it's easy to say, I can't afford to pay. I mean, some of these books now, let me see, how much was this one? Some of these books I bought for maybe 4,000, the these big ones. And of course, another thing, because I've been able to read all these big books, and there is nothing, I have no excuse for not reading the Bible. The whole thing. You know, pay 4,000 or whatever. But I will tell you something today. There are 3 books I've shown you today: Leading the Revolution, The Innovator's Dilemma, and Business at the Speed of Thought, Bill Gates. Those 3 books. Total I paid for those books was about, you know, together about 10,000 shillings. Then something sparked in me. I organized a program. I called it the Innovation Exchange. Innovation Exchange was basically the kind of thing I'm telling you here right now. Okay? Exchange of value for value. Let me tell you, Google sent a team, Safaricom sent a team, companies all over sent a team, and that was the first day in my life where we made over 1 million shillings, over $10,000 in one day. That was like 18 years ago or so. Are you hearing me? Yet, it was because so what had happened? I had invested 10,000 in value. My value had increased. My ability to reason and think through some of these innovation things had increased. I was now able to apply it to the African environment, and I developed a course around it. First day, over 1 million. And we began to do this for different places. Are you hearing me? Growth will always feel risky to the version of you that must be left behind. It will always feel risky to the version of you that must be left behind. And that's why, let me tell you, I tell people, your comfort zone is the most expensive place to live. It's the most expensive place. Let me tell you something. You know me. I have been up. I have been down. I have made money. I have lost money. I have lost money. I have been in debt. Debt that you need an accountant to tell you how much you owe. Are you hearing me? And then I have come out. I have been, so what, let me tell you, he that has been on the ground does not fear the ground. I have zero fear, because I have seen that this parable of hidden treasure, it works. It works. I develop myself. Then what do? The other side of it. I'm praying in the Spirit. I'm praying in the Spirit. You see how they work together? The gap between where you are and where you want to be, you have to pay for it. It's not something that's going to come by hope or wishing. Are you hearing me today? Stop negotiating with your potential. Stop. When I was coming to Kenya, I didn't have clothes. I had a suitcase full of tapes, faith tapes, and books. That's what I had. It wasn't until later I went to Nigeria, somebody now bought me suits. Jeans and a few t-shirts, but a suitcase full of tapes and books. Because I knew this is what is going to take me. And when I do this exchange, there is no outfit I want, I will not be able to buy. Are you hearing me today? Pray. Oh my God. Where does time go? Where does time go? Oh my goodness. So growth is on the other side of this conflict. Let me share a few more books with you. Just give me what? And then I want those Trump books also. Look at this. Mindset by Carol Dweck. The New Psychology of Success. This book changed my thinking. The stuff I'm doing on mindset and all that, this was where I learned about growth mindset and fixed mindset. Are you hearing me? This is where I learned about it. Yeah. Look, the code of the extraordinary mind. These are books that have changed my mind. So I've shown you the millionaire books. I've shown you startup. I've shown you biographies. I have sections, books on different things, or the mindset books. Are you hearing me? Of course, this one, The Richest Man in Babylon, this is one of the books that helped me think where finances are concerned. I did. Taiwo says I gave people
No, the family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I gave the entire family a copy for Christmas. Rich Dad. Everybody talks about this book. How many people, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, how many people have utilized what he says? This is where I learned. It doesn't matter how much you are being paid. It's hand to mouth. If you don't have, are you hearing me? So are you hearing what I'm saying today? So I think my conclusion for today is this. My conclusion for today is this. Salvation is free, but but transformation is not free. If you are not willing to pay for your next level, your current level will not leave you. It will not leave you. The fact that something is free, don't take it for free. Is somebody hearing me? I went to a meeting in Nigeria. Taiwo and I went. The man of God preached. That message was so powerful. The hall was full. I'm sure everybody heard that message, but something happened to me. I told Taiwo, we have to be a blessing. Because I read in the Bible that if we've ministered to you carnal things, spiritual things, then you minister carnal things. So I said to Taiwo, I said, I don't have what we're going to give this guy, but I wrote on a piece of paper. I said, I pledge myself. Because I didn't have money, but I have time. I'll go everywhere with you. I'll be your PA. I'll be your armor bearer. I will serve you. My job is to figure out what you want before you know you want it. I'll do praise and worship. I'll do all that. Are you hearing me? That was what I did. And then he said he was going to Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I got to Kenya. It's not free. Even if you are giving it to me for free, I'll find a way. Hey, I must put value on it. I must put value on it. I will find a way. Is somebody hearing me? Look at this one. There's another Blue Ocean, something there. The Blue Ocean Strategy. And a lot of people know these books. This was the one that taught me how to think outside every box and not look at competition. This was what taught me how to create products. In fact, it was when I read this book, you know, the scripture, eye has not seen, ear has not heard. This brought it alive for me. That most people are competing in the red ocean, in the space where everybody is doing the same thing, dog eats dog. He said, but there is a dimension of innovation you get into. You enter into the blue ocean. There is no competition. He said, that is where I want to be. That is where I learned that. Look at this one on boards. This one. So, now, as we're growing, we're growing, we're at a stage now. I've set a date where I will not be actively involved in the business and all that. So we're putting that in place. I read this, how boards work. Are you hearing me? I don't even know how to. I talked about that last week. I talked about this last week, isn't it? Atomic Habits. You know, when I was, look at this one. This really helped me when I was going through a whole lot of, thank you, these two. This helped me, Top Performance, How to Develop Excellence in Yourself and Others by Zig Ziglar. This book, 2010. Are you hearing me? 2010. And then, this one, The Obstacle is the Way. I realized, oh my God, what this book showed me is the ancient art of turning adversity to advantage. There are a lot of people are overwhelmed by their problems, but he says, the obstacle is the way. Isn't that fulfillment of, listen, no temptation has come that is greater than you, but in the temptation, he will provide a way of escape. That is this. This, I understood it. In fact, when I read this, I understood that scripture. The Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell. This is where I learned that your 10,000 hours is not wasted. Consistency, just keep at it. There's a book there, a big book on mastery. Bring it. This one's here. Yeah. I was reading this one, then this one, Robert Greene, on mastery. How to become the master of whatever I'm doing. To take my craft to a level. That's why they want to do culture in this country now. They will look for us. They want to do leadership. They look for us. Why? Because mastery of my craft. Jennifer, I have good news. A company in Nigeria has reached out to us. So we're actually sending a team to Nigeria for about a month. And I will come and visit. Culture. Are you hearing me today? It's called mastery of the craft. Now, do you know? And this is the sad part. The safest place to keep something, something valuable during riots or whatever, is in the bookshop or in the library. Nobody will ever loot it. Nobody will loot it. They cannot see value. I remember when my office was broken into in Kilifi, and they took away watches, computers, Sound system. My son Ola, he shook his head. He said, and they left the most valuable things in the room. Your books. They didn't touch the books. Hey! Now remember where we started from this morning. That means they did not discern value. They did not see value in the books. They did not discern. Now, everything they took, I have much more. But they put a pick on their lives. So, the kingdom of heaven is as a man who sees treasure. Oh, my PA has gone to bring another book for me. This is my PA. Oh, you people should clap for my PA. She's working. This is Bezonomics. This is on Jeff Bezos. And this guy inspired me when he said, listen, no, he said that Amazon, listen to what he says. Multi-trillion dollar company. Amazon is not too big to fail. Are you hearing me? And he began to talk about that. Amazon is not too big to fail. So you don't settle. That's what he was saying. You don't settle. You keep going. My PA, look, me, I'm done. It's my PA that is bringing books now. It's my PA that is bringing, that one on Innovators. It's my PA, Innovators. Yeah, that one. And then the Art of War. It's my PA that is bringing books now. He says, Amazon is not too big to fail. And I said to myself, if this guy has a growth mindset with $1 trillion company, what's wrong with me? You are now doing a few $1 million or so, and then you feel that you have arrived. I learned it from here. My PA brought this one. Start with why, Simon Sinek. And what this book did for me is, he said something. The reality is we don't even care. People don't buy what you do, but they will always buy why. I'm told that my PA, your PA truly has our interest at heart. If she continues, I will just get up. She'll come and sit down and continue. Start with why. That just refocuses you where purpose is concerned. This book was written in 500 and something BC. 500 and something BC, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I was working with a company here. I developed a program, business strategies from the Art of War, and that turned around that company right round. It was from here. This one is called The Innovators. And it talked about every innovation from the transistor to programming to the computer to, is somebody hearing me? Personal computer, online. It talks about every innovation that has affected our lives. It brings it out here and shows us their thinking. The principles of Jesus that people who have not embraced the person of Jesus are executing. Are you hearing me? Oh, Taiwo, you forgot these ones. Robin Sharma. Where's the monk who sold his Ferrari? Is there? Mega Living from the monk who sold his Ferrari. The monk who sold his Ferrari. When I read these, oh my God, then Robin's Secret, the secret letters of the monk who sold his Ferrari. I realized he took one brand, one thing he had done, and built a whole industry around it. That's where I learned. That's why we're doing commanding the room speeches, commanding the room, everything. Are you hearing me today? The PA is still working on this one, project management. what the best project managers know, say, and do. How to break a big task into small tasks for execution. I learned it from there. Taiwo is... Okay, she says last one. Let's see. Tribal leadership is important. That one, strategies of war, is important. Look, this one is called Surrounded by Idiots. And this book is so powerful because what this book taught me is how to understand different personalities. That you may have personalities, you don't understand. You're thinking to yourself, this guy's an idiot. But you have not taken time to understand that personality, and it breaks down personalities in the most simple. There's red, there's yellow, there's green, and there's blue. So you began to look at people in the light of what personality they are. That helped me in leadership, in relating with people. Is somebody hearing me today? PA has brought more. PA. 33 strategies of war. 33 strategies of war. This is where he says that, listen, he taught me something here. He said, no two wars are alike. Hey! No two wars are alike. So you cannot use the principles from one war to another. America is learning that now the hard way. The hard way. And this guy confirmed that this is team of teams. They should have consulted with this guy before going to Iran. This is General Stanley McChrystal, the guy who coordinated, who was the commanding officer, the general officer commanding the US troops in Iraq, the task force against Al-Qaeda. He said they were defeated woefully by an army that did not have uniforms, that did not have security gadgets. Listen, by December, there were more terror, 2005. There were more terror attacks in Iraq alone than there had been in the entire world in 2003. All right? And he said, why? He said, we were prepared for an enemy that did not exist anymore. That's exactly what America is doing in Iran. They were preparing for an enemy. They could bully them in the air, use long-range missiles and all that. And those guys, they redefined war on their own terms. We're going to use drones and we will. I see what they've done. Taiwo, we got to finish. This one is called Tribal Leadership. Leveraging natural groups to build a thriving organization. This has helped me tremendously in my leadership journey. Then you saw my PA hand me a book. This is called Smart Thinking. Smart Thinking. Because a lot of people, and like Napoleon Hill said in that place, a lot of people have opinions over no facts. And so when they think when they are thinking about that opinion, they're actually thinking they're thinking. They are not really thinking. They're just rotating ignorance. Smart thinking, that did it for me. Amen. Amen. Okay, my PA said we finish with this. Today, we are the authority when it comes to organizational culture. This book helped me greatly. Why Nations Fail. The Origins of Power, Prosperity, and Poverty. This book helped me because they were asking, why do nations fail? Why do nations fail? And they said, is it geographical? They looked at geographical aspects in different nations. Is it the traditional factors and all that? And people had different viewpoints that, maybe it's geography, because if you notice, generally the temperate regions are the ones that feed people in the tropical regions. The temperate regions are the donors. The tropics are the recipients of, they had a lot of funny theories. But you know what messed it up for them? And what now helped me in my career when it comes to culture? When they got to Korea, North Korea and South Korea, the same people, the same culture, the same behaviors, the same traditions. Everything was the same. Same geography, same climate. Everything was the same. They were only divided by politics. But satellite images, and unfortunately you won't be able to see it, the camera won't pick it up well, but satellite images, showed at night, showed North Korea and South Korea. North Korea was total pitch black. South Korea was so brightly lit up. And they said, why is this so? And that solved the problem, answered the questions why nations fail. They realized that in North Korea, your options were limited. Anything you wanted to do, no matter how qualified or brilliant you are going to be in the military or a military-related establishment. But in South Korea, you could join K-pop, you could join K-drama, you could work with Samsung, you could work with LG, you could work with, the options were limitless. And they did that comparative analysis in different places, and they saw that the nations that thrive are the nations that have created an environment for the gifts of their people to find expression. Nations fail when they do not create an environment that can accommodate their own geniuses. So their geniuses end up in foreign lands. Is somebody hearing me? I learned that geometry from here. And gosh, I learned so much. That has brought us so much money. Training on that. So what am I saying? I will continue with this next week. I'm sure you can see how excited I am whenever I'm talking about things like this. Yeah, my PA is making fun of me that we have not even covered a quarter of the curriculum. That's good. So we have something to talk about next week. But listen, there is no value, and I'm ending here. There is no value without exchange. None. You cannot move forward without giving something up. I was listening just this morning, Pastor E. Adeboye talked about many years ago, their very beginning, early days, where they were going to roof the first auditorium they had. They needed 17,000 naira when the naira was more powerful than the dollar. He didn't have. Believing for it. Then he had 1,000 naira on him. Somebody came and said needed 1,000 naira. He said, I'm still looking for 17,000 naira. As the guy was walking, God said, give it to him. He gave it to him. And money for the building showed up. There is no progress without sacrifice. No value without exchange. No value without exchange. You cannot carry your old life into your new level. Every advancement requires you to sacrifice something. And it's not too bad if you are investing in your own growth. Because what you refuse to release will eventually limit you. Let me stop there. We will continue this next week. I trust you were blessed and you got something. Did you get it today? Did you get it today? So, if you ask me, and the books I have here represent just a fraction, are you hearing me, of my books? A fraction of my books. And you know what? I have read every single one of them. Let me tell you how good it is. If you need any information, I know exactly which book to go and pick for you and what page to open. Are you hearing me? Because I have so interacted with my books. That's why I don't give people my books. So I want to challenge you. No value without exchange. None. We can do this, guys. We can do this. Just make sure you are constantly exchanging the little value you have for greater value. Then you become more valuable. You exchange that for greater, you become more valuable. God bless you. God bless you, and God bless you. Have a fantastic week, a fantastic new month. Remember, on Saturday, we're going to be having the Marketplace Network for those in Nairobi. And that's going to be phenomenal. We're going to be talking about, like I said, from relationship to revenue, how to leverage. Okay? So we can do it, and we will do it. We will do it. Because I've seen what it has done for me. You can do it. We will do it. Amen. See you guys. Amen. Keep winning.